This is the definitive showdown. The future of Sony Alpha is not one camera. It's a three-pronged, technologically brutal assault on the professional market. We are not speculating on rumors. We are dissecting the strategic positioning of three titans: the Sony A7V, the Sony A7R VI, and the resurrected beast, the Sony FX3 II. If you're a content creator in the USA, choosing the wrong body right now is an economic mistake. This comparison isn't about which is better. It's about which is the perfect weapon for your specific mission. And what we are about to uncover is how Sony is segmenting their market with surgical precision to ensure you have to buy the right one, and only the right one. We are going deep, past the megapixel counts, past the frame rates, into the core philosophy of each machine. This will be the most honest, brutal breakdown you will see. If you're holding off on upgrading, this video tells you exactly what you are waiting for and why you might regret it if you wait for the wrong camera. Let's start with the camera that has ignited the entire industry, the Sony A7V. This is the one everyone is waiting for. The rumored price point alone is a statement. It is positioned to take the A7IV success and amplify it tenfold, but with the technological scaffolding of the A1 and A9 series finally trickling down. The A7V is the ultimate balanced hybrid. Its mission is to do everything exceptionally well. What defines the A7V is its sensor architecture. We anticipate a new, faster reading, likely stacked or partially stacked sensor, maybe settling on that crucial 33 or 40 megapixel sweet spot. Why is this critical? Because that speed finally conquers the curse of the A7 series, rolling shutter. For the hybrid shooter, this is non-negotiable. You get fast stills, clean video motion, all powered by the latest AI-driven autofocus core that tracks with near-supernatural precision. Uncropped 4K/60p internal is the baseline expectation here, the minimum required to justify its existence. The A7V is designed to be the only camera you need, period. It's the workhorse you bet your mortgage on. But what if your work demands absolute photographic dominance? What if your clients pay a premium for massive, billboard-sized prints or require massive flexibility for extreme cropping? That is where the Sony A7R VI steps onto the field. The A7R VI is the resolution dictator. It inherits the A7R VI's mindset, but updates the entire processing stack. Think the rumored 60 or even 70-plus megapixels. This is where the A7 versus excellent resolution is shown the door. The A7R VI offers a level of detail that allows you to crop in 2 stops and still produce a file cleaner than the A7 versus native output. The trade-off? Historically, massive resolution meant sluggish performance and terrible low light. That is precisely what the A7R VI is rumored to annihilate. It will likely feature a new generation of stacked sensor design specifically to handle that massive data pipe without slow readout. We expect its autofocus to be top tier, perhaps even slightly edged out by the A7V in specific tracking scenarios because the A7V is designed for speed, but the A7R VI will deliver superior image quality across the board when light allows. Its IBIS system will be staggering, likely pushing 8 stops, precisely because it needs to hold those massive files rock steady. The A7R VI doesn't just take photos. It captures light data with obsessive overkill. If you're a landscape artist, a studio commercial shooter, or someone who thrives on untouchable detail, the A7R VI is not an option. It is the only path. Now, let us address the elephant in the room, the camera that was quietly the king of video until now, the Sony FX3 II. Why would anyone consider this against the A7V? Because the FX3 line is not about balance. It is about unadulterated cinema-grade capture. The FX3 II is rumored to inherit the fastest, most capable sensor technology available, likely the next-gen stacked sensor destined for the A9 series, but optimized for video workflow. Forget 4K/60p. We're talking about the holy grail, uncropped, internal RAW, or a very high bitrate, cinema-grade codec like XAVCI, pushing 6K or even 8K at high frame rates. While the A7V gives you incredible hybrid video. The FX3 II gives you cinema production power. Look at the body difference. The FX3 II has no viewfinder. Why? Because Sony knows that a dedicated cinema tool needs maximum heat dissipation and a cleaner interface focused purely on video monitoring. It will feature built-in ND filters. For the filmmaker, this feature alone saves you hundreds of dollars and minutes of frustration every single shoot. You stop worrying about diffusion and start worrying about the performance. The FX3 II is the tool for the filmmaker whose priority is the look, the color science integration, and the ability to shoot all day in punishing conditions without blinking. This is where the decision becomes agonizingly clear. The A7V is the Swiss Army knife. It takes the best of both worlds, the speed of the A9 line, the detail of the R line, and makes them equally powerful. It is the single body that can handle a wedding from start to finish without compromise. The A7R VI is the scalpel. It sacrifices a fraction of that pure video speed and autofocus immediacy for unparalleled photographic resolution and detail preservation. You shoot stills that must win awards. The FX3 II is the cinema weapon. It trades still photography usability, no EVF less dedicated stills ergonomics, for pure, unadulterated, high-resolution, high-frame rate, heat-dissipating video capture power. It is a cinema camera wearing a mirrorless body. If you value the immediate feedback of a viewfinder and want incredible performance in both fields, you must wait for the A7V, and you should expect the A7 IV to drop dramatically in price. If you shoot stills 80% of the time, and the file size is your friend, you aim for the A7R VI. But if the next project is a commercial short, a documentary feature, or anything where footage integrity beats stills flexibility, then you ignore the A7V and the A7R VI, and you save for the FX3 II. This is Sony's iron triangle. They have made each piece incredibly strong, but they have made them different. Your decision is no longer about which camera is best. It's about which camera is built specifically to eliminate the weaknesses of your current limitations. The moment you know your primary focus, the choice is made for you. Do not guess. Do not settle. The tools are being revealed. Know your mission. The Sony A7V will be the speed king of hybrid tracking. It will almost certainly inherit the newest dedicated AI processing unit that debuted in the A7R VI, but tuned for pure responsiveness. Expect real-time recognition of subjects, human, animal, bird, vehicle, insect, that doesn't just track, it anticipates. The A7V's strength is seamless, immediate switching between stills and video with unshakable lock-on. Its goal is to make a moment unmissable, regardless of the format. This is the ultimate run-and-gun camera where speed and versatility are your currency. The Sony A7R VI's autofocus will be equally brilliant, but its processor is primarily focused on managing the catastrophic data flow of its massive sensor. Its genius is not just locking focus, but doing it while instantly processing 60 or 70 megapixels of information. Think precision over volume. It uses that AI core to perfectly place focus on the tiniest detail in a vast, high-resolution frame. For the A7R VI, the challenge is computation, and its brain is optimized for pure, lossless data integrity and speed of transfer to the buffer. The Sony FX3 II is where the processing power gets dark and cinematic. Its autofocus will be buttery smooth, designed for filmic rack focusing and natural-looking transitions, rather than the aggressive, instantaneous snap of the hybrid bodies. Crucially, the FX3 II's processor is dedicated to managing extremely high bitrate, long-form internal video codecs, like 6K or 8K RAW. It doesn't need to save a RAW photo every half second. It needs to record 30 minutes of pristine, uncompressed video without skipping a single frame. Its intelligence is about stability, color integrity, and long-form data management. Now, the factor that separates the toy from the tool in a professional setting: heat management and endurance. The Achilles heel of the mirrorless body is heat, and Sony has fundamentally segregated their lineup based on solving this problem. The A7R VI and A7V, being conventional mirrorless bodies, rely on passive cooling and the camera's aluminum chassis. The A7V, with its balanced sensor, will likely handle 4K/60p for extended periods, far better than its predecessor, but it will still have a finite recording limit under stress. The A7R VI, with its massive sensor, will run into heat barriers quicker when shooting high-resolution tie-in video like 8K, making it a tripod and controlled environment video tool, not a cinema workhorse. The FX3 II is built to laugh in the face of heat. The absence of the viewfinder and the slightly deeper chassis are not accidents. They are engineering decisions that house a built-in cooling fan. This single feature is the fundamental dividing line. The FX3 II is engineered for unlimited recording time in standard video modes. Imagine shooting a 3-hour interview or an entire conference in 4K/60p without a single thermal shutdown warning. That reliability, that peace of mind, is what professional cinema cameras sell. You don't buy the FX3 II for its features list. You buy for the certainty that it will never fail you mid-take. Finally, let's talk workflow and ergonomics. The A7V and A7R VI maintain the classic alpha form factor. The grip, the dials, the electronic viewfinder. These are designed for the person who spends equal time with their eye pressed to the camera, composing a still shot, and holding it slightly away for video. They're the ultimate compromise in comfort and function. The FX3 II rejects compromise. No AOBF. A slew of threaded mounting points built directly into the body. You don't need a cage for basic rigging. It features the XLR top handle for professional audio capture out of the box. This is a rig-ready cinema unit that saves you hundreds of dollars and pounds of metal. Its battery life will also lean heavily on the larger, cinema-grade batteries that allow for all-day shooting, a distinct advantage over the A7 series' smaller NPFC 100 battery packs. Your final decision is a commitment to a life. If your professional life is a dynamic mix of high-demand editorial stills and cinematic short-form content, the A7V is the future of your hybrid career. If your livelihood depends on capturing untouchable photographic detail, where a crop is as good as a new lens, the A7R VI is the precision photographic instrument you need. But if you're a filmmaker whose only concern is the absolute reliability, the high bitrate file integrity, the pro audio integration, and the certainty of no overheating on a critical 45-minute take, then you must look past the spec sheet of the hybrid bodies. The FX3 II is not a camera. It is a compact, heat-managed professional cinema production unit. Choose your weapon wisely. The wrong choice is not just an inconvenience. It is a bottleneck to your creativity and your income.